one touch, and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
Well, everybody, welcome to this. What is today, Bob? Today's Wednesday?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, today's Wednesday. I know. I was on another show today. Not on it, but I was in the chat. People are like, Eric, your shows are on different days this week. Because usually we do Tuesdays, Thursday, and Friday. But we did a show on Monday. We skipped Tuesday for this show on Wednesday. So, it's just how it is. But we have a special guest today.
Yes, we do.
His name is Viz. He's from a Dead Talk live show. If you look in the chat, you will see that I actually have his website there. If you guys want to check it out,
Walking Dead
Now show. And what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about like the Walking Dead and how it relates to the real world. I know a lot of you in the chat. I don't know how much Walking Dead people has watched. I don't know, but Bob and I, we grew up on zombie movies. We grew up on Night of the Living Dead. That crazy Return of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, the original, the original Dawn of the Dead that was in that a mall. And of course, there's the newer one. So we grew up on zombie movies, and when The Walking Dead came out, I loved The Walking Dead when it came out. It was awesome.
Loved it.
And now, I hear some weird things. I did lose interest in The Walking Dead on the guys. This is spoilers, okay? If you don't want spoilers, then you're in the wrong show. There's an episode where Rick gets blown up and gets flew away in a helicopter. And after that episode, I kind of did not go back to The Walking Dead for a year or two until this pandemic happened, and I actually caught up. So I actually have finished every single Walking Dead episode. But what's interesting about the reason why I actually liked The Walking Dead was because how it kind of mirror image real life that we live in. Even though we don't have zombies walking around, but if you think about real life,
we do.
We are all zombies. As soon as you're born, as soon as you get a social security number, you will receive the zombie virus.
Exactly.
You are a zombie. Even though we have more freedoms than most countries, you're still owned by the government.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, we all hate Donald Trump, but we kind of need Donald Trump to get this economy going again, because if the economy breaks down, if the world economy breaks down, The Walking Dead will really happen.
And you know what? I gotta let you know, on a lot of these posts that I'm posting, videos or whatever, there are a lot of people commenting that, whether it's a video tribute on The Walking Dead or whatever, a lot of people are saying we are not too far away from this. The Walking Dead, the zombies are just a backdrop. They're just a backdrop to the show. It could really be about anything. The main thing about The Walking Dead is what happens to humanity after civilization falls apart. And it is scary. And what's going on in real life right now with people being cooped up for months on end with this coronavirus quarantine. And now we had this whole George Floyd thing happen, which was the spark that ignited the powder keg. And people are scared. And I'm posting these fan videos of The Walking Dead, and a lot of my comments are, you know what? We're not too far away from this in real life.
No, we're not.
And nice to meet you. It's Viz?
Yeah, Viz. Yep. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I posted in one of my videos, I saw it on Twitter, and it was somebody took a bunch of people, they pushed out toilet paper at Costco on a pallet, and people would just start ripping it apart, and somebody put the Walking Dead sound effect behind it. It's fantastic video. I mean, I can look for it if you want. It's really
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Yeah. But yeah, and if you want to go biblically, they always talk about the cities is where the destruction is. If you want to see Walking Dead, that's where it's going to happen.
Exactly.
And the thing about that show, because I watched it for many years too, it turned out the scariest people weren't the zombies. Like they had those taken care of. It was no big deal. You know, you kind of look for when they came across 30 zombies, they just hack and slack and then they're gone. It was the regular people.
That's the biggest threat.
Yes.
Scary.
Yes.
Humanity is the biggest threat. It's not the zombies, which they call walkers on the show. It's not them. They can take care of them. And then especially with the introduction of this group called the Whisperers, which is the latest antagonist, they have figured out a way on how to walk amongst the dead. They cut out the face masks of the dead and they put them on, and the zombies don't realize that they're living people. So they have figured out how to blend in and live amongst the dead. So it's not, so that secret is out there. They know how to live and walk amongst the dead. The biggest threat is the other people that are still living.
And in the backstory behind that is there again in plain sight. They put their programming in there. You know, the Whispers, they do this, which is the total thing that the Illuminati like to play with. So in essence, they're saying the scariest people are those amongst you, like the government, not your neighbors and stuff. And just like America, we think we're like the ones saving the world. We're actually the bad guys. Rick's group, they're horrible people. I mean, what's his name? I love the villain until they ruined him. The guy with
Negan.
Yeah. So he was like,
he's actually from
two
Washington.
people, and Rick's group like sliced the throats of a whole bunch of people in their sleep. I mean, who's the terrorist? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That episode, and I mentioned this last night on my episode. They were the bad guys, 100%. I mean, look what they did. They in order to get supplies from another community. They struck a deal with the weasel leader of that community, say, hey, we'll go take care of this group that is basically taking half of your food and stuff. And their plan was to go in the dead of night and they murdered them while they were sleeping.
Yeah.
If you're in a group and you're hungry and you're walking to their village, they turn you away. So we don't want you here. Just keep going. And you had a priest. You had that priest, I don't know his name, that actually let people die outside his church. Which I don't like his character no more. I don't like his character, but he goes high while people have died, and he's the man of the cloth.
Yeah.
But if this really happened, if the economy collapses, 75% of people will die because they don't have the survivor skills. I mean, if you live in a city, all you know is how to go down an elevator, go to a store, buy your food, go back up and make it. They don't know how to survive off the land. Myself and Bob grew up hunting. We know how to fish, hunt. We were in the military. Sonny Fan Man lives out in the country, in the woods. You know, some people can survive, but 75% of people don't know how to survive. You think Donald Trump can survive? That fucker can't even survive.
No, I'm the complete opposite of you guys. I was born and raised right in the heart of New York City. I never been south of Jersey till I was 21.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I had no idea. And I graduated college in like 21, 22. And I got this job, in my study in Virginia, Dulles Airport, the Washington, D.C. International Airport. So here I am. I'm packing my bags. I'm moving to what's the South, okay? And I'm working. I remember my first day at work, right? I knock out, I was in maintenance. I was in aircraft maintenance. I was
Here we go.
Cool. Okay, that's what I studied for in New York. I got offered a job a couple of months after I graduated college. So here I am, my mom and me pack up a U-Haul truck, drive from New York City down to Virginia. I rented an apartment. And then like 2 days later, I go to work with my toolbox in hand. This is back in 97, where I'm allowed. I actually went with a toolbox right through security. I didn't have a badge at the time. This was my first day of work. I didn't have a badge. I didn't have any ID.
Old school.
With claw hammers, wrenches, knives, right through security.
The good old days.
Yeah. I'm like, this is my first day of work.
Can I ask you where the engines were?
So anyway, I
Here we go.
I go down to where our terminal is. I work for United Express. I go in, I knock on the maintenance door. Somebody opens the door, and I'm like, hey, I'm your new mechanic. Okay, so they're like, hey, come on in. So I come on in and I meet the station manager, right, for the first time. And it's this big guy, and I tell him where I'm from, and his first response was, they sent me another goddamn Yankee. He's like, they sent me another goddamn Yankee. I'm like, okay, I'm in the South, okay? And I'll tell you what, moving down to Virginia, being born and raised in New York City, I met some of the greatest people. I loved the people I worked with during that time. One of their very many nicknames for me was Cityit, a city idiot. Yeah, they called me the city idiot. I was just completely oblivious. I went into work one day because the night before I was smoking out front of my apartment building. And I went to everybody, I saw this huge rat last night. And they're like, dude, you fucking idiot. That was a possum. I'd never seen a possum. I didn't know what a fucking possum looked like.
You learn people are assholes. You learn people are assholes out there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen rats. Oh, and I've seen rats this big.
Okay, so I gotta ask you, where was the engine? Huh? Is that
the engines were all over the place, man. I tell you what,
were they under the wing or were they always in front?
Well, the wing on the planes that I worked on, yeah, there was an engine on both wings, and they were sort of mounted right in the middle of the wings. You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I loved it because I worked for a regional airline. It was United Express, and let me tell you, talk about being thrown into the deep end of a pool. Okay, I'm green. Never had any work experience working on planes. I just had my 4 years worth of school, got my bachelor's degree, got my federal licenses. And then 3 months later, I get a job. And when you go work for the regional airlines, they throw you right at the deep end of the pool, man. They'll give you some help, but you're like, wow. Go fix it. I'm like, God damn, And then the realization comes in that there are going to be actually people flying on this thing.
So, what I need to know, Viz, so do you know that they're all in the front and they've never been in the middle?
What, the engines?
Yes, Brian Stabler here. I have to ask you this.
Well, engines can be placed anywhere. There are airplanes where the engine's in the back.
Well, yeah, but the main, like, the jet engines that are on planes, that passenger planes,
yeah,
they've always been way in front of the wings now. It's I don't know if you know about Mandela.
What it is the way it attaches to the wing, it's called a pylon. That's the thing that sticks down from the wing, and then you see the engine like sticking out, forward of it, right? So that pylon is really where all the fuel lines, hydraulic lines, I mean, everything crucial runs through that thing, okay? And yeah, when you guys probably heard, there's only 2 bolts that hold those engines onto that airplane.
Oh God, yeah.
Just 2. I mean, they're good-sized bolts, don't get me wrong, but that's the only thing holding that jet engine to that airplane. So
your recommendation is not to fly on one.
The best part of my job doing that was we had to go on road trips, because if one of our birds broke down at an outstation, somewhere else, they would go around, and everything in the airlines is based on seniority, right? So I had built, being in the regionals, you start at the bottom in seniority, but back around the year 2000, there was this great purge where the major airlines started hiring, and I moved up the seniority scale really quickly. And anyway, going on these road trips, I went on a road trip where the complaint was that the pilot smelled smoke in the cockpit.
Whoa.
Okay, it could be like an oil filter or something. I check it out. I'm like, you know what? We ran it. I'm like, this is okay to bring home. It wasn't that far from home, but on the way back, I started smelling that smoke. And when we got back and we brought it to the hangar, I left, that was the end of my shift. I go back the next day and they told me that the whole electrical wiring from the engine to the main bus had completely burned to a crisp. So I brought a burning plane home. But you know what? I brought it home in one piece.
Wow.
Yeah. So I could go on with stories like that. But that decade of me working on airplanes, I've learned so much. The experience I learned there even transfers over into what I'm doing today. It's amazing. I love the people I work with. I just didn't like dealing with the goddamn politics, as with any job,
Well, Bob used to work at Museum of Flight. So Bob used to work on airplanes and stuff.
Yeah, well, everyone kept talking about 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools of fuel are in the wings. 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools of the fuel. I go, there's no fuel, no 4-size Olympic. What?
Yeah.
In the wings? What story is this being passed around? But it's in literature, and they're telling people that there are 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools of fuel in each wing. I go, them wings are little. There's some few lines. There's no tanks like that in those wings. And and it's a Mandela effect. You probably know about this. You're probably going, one Olympic-sized swimming pool fucking.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on the size of the plane. I started working on those small little turboprops. That's a jet engine running a propeller.
Yeah.
And we got the Airbuses. We got the big Airbuses. Yeah. And that was great. Wow. I actually went Airbus, the company Airbus came to us, and I attended their 6-week training on their airplane. It's cool. They flew us down to Miami because that's where the U.S. Headquarters are, and we got to go into a flight simulator of an Airbus. Yeah. As a mechanic, I love flying. I had a flight simulator on my home computer here, but to sit in a real flight simulator where pilots train, and we had so much fun. They put me up in the air and doing all these maneuvers. It was great. It was great. It was kick ass. So,
and do you know about the reverse? They have reverse in those planes now. They have reverse.
Oh, they've always had reverse. Yeah.
I didn't know about reverse. I was like, they know they go reverse because those engines will go reverse.
Well, all reverse is the normal airflow comes in from the front, gets busted and comes out the back. All reverse is it redirects the exhaust to come out to the front. So instead of pushing you forward, now the thrust is pushing the opposite direction, which just slows the airplane down.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's new. That's new for some of us. I don't have that memory of them going reverse. I was like, when did they start going reverse? And the engine used to be underneath the wing, but now it's protruding all the way out from the tip of the wing.
Yeah.
And I go, well, that's new to me because I remember them under the wing. That's weird. Again, a lot of us have that Mandela effect. And again, it's, what you're describing is correct. Mm-hmm. What I'm describing is not correct. So I have a memory of them under the wing. They're not protruding all the way to the front. And there was no large fuel tanks in the wings either. There was no fuel tanks in the wings. And they didn't have that reverse like they did. So
well, I hate to break it to you, but reverse has always been there.
Okay.
And the fuel has always been in the wings. And then you get to the bigger airplanes, not only is the fuel in the wings, there's a big center fuel tank right underneath where the people sit. That's on
inside the fuselage.
Those are on the big jumbo jets, that have a range of like 15,000 miles or some shit like that.
Yeah.
The reverse, it's real simple. If you've flown recently and you've sat on a window seat and right next to the engine, as soon as you sit, if you're looking at the engine when you land and you see this panel go back and it reveals a big green spot, that's the air being redirected forward to slow down the airplane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here you go, guys. There you have it.
Yeah.
Anybody with airplane questions in the sidebar? We're going Walking Dead, but since we got him hot.
Yeah, I know. He's right there.
He's right here, guys. So we got an airplane mechanic outside of the Walking Dead. If you guys
talk about going through careers. I studied in college. I became an aircraft mechanic, but very soon after, I did what I wanted to do. Now, I became what they call an avionics technician, and that's the guy who works on the navigation, communication, and autopilot. That's what I really wanted to do, but I had to pay my dues for a year or two, and then I got promoted. It's not a promotion. It's just my specialty became the electronics, which is what I really love to do. And then at the end of 2005, beginning of 2006, the airline went out of business, okay? And I saw it coming. And like a month before they shut their doors, I actually started my own computer IT business.
Okay, smart.
So, yeah, I'm a guy who's done like from aircraft mechanic, and now I'm an IT business owner. And then I unfortunately got, hurt with my back, and it sucked because that business was really starting to take off. But I couldn't physically do the work anymore. So around 2016, 2017, I'm like, I have to shut down. And it sucked because, most small businesses, when they start, you're in the red for a good couple of years. We were only in the red for a year. And then by the second year, we were in the black. And it was going really great. But that's what life is, man. Life throws you these curveballs, and you just have to adjust.
Yeah.
You have to keep adjusting. And I had to shut it down. I just could not physically do the work anymore. And, from 2016 to just a few months ago, my kids had grown up. I have 3 teenagers now. They don't need constant monitoring. I don't need to change diapers. My wife's, my wife works, she's got her doctorate degree, and she works at a hospital. She's one of these people that goes to work every day and fights the front line on this coronavirus thing. And, I'm very proud of her. She got her doctorate degree a year and a half ago, and she just hates being called doctor. And I'm like, why? There's a big ass degree hanging on the wall that I walk through every day that says doctorate with your name on it, but yet I can't call you doctor, because it upsets you, because she doesn't want people to get confused with her being an MD. She's a doctorate in another part of the medical profession. But all these people that she works with, and I get to hear the stories every day of what they have to face. It's hard, man. Knowing my wife and just seeing the emotional strain of going to the hospital and seeing people that are going to die, hearing the stories, it's hard on them, and I feel so bad.
Does she have a lot of patients, you're saying, at her hospital?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Because that's the first I've heard.
Yeah. In the hospital where she works at, I don't want to say the name, but there's 2 of them. The big brand hospital. The main one is actually closer to our house here, and she works in the secondary one. Now, the main one here is just all COVID-19 patients.
And how many do they have? Because, what? I'm sorry. We don't need to. Eric,
No. It's fine. We're not getting into any specifics, but the one here has become exclusively for all COVID patients.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, Virginia is one of those states where the cases are still rising, as opposed to like New York, where the cases are starting to drop. We're one of those states where it's still on the rise. So they have split the hospitals up. Her hospital doesn't have as many COVID, as the one here does, but they still see their share. Every time she comes home every afternoon, she has to do a full decontamination and the whole 9 yards. And just to see the emotional strain not only on her, on all of her colleagues, and it sucks. And I'm very proud of her. And I've heard stories where a lot of these, medical people, they're like, screw this, I'm not gonna jeopardize my family or my health. This is not what I signed up for.
Hey, Eric.
And they
do you want to talk about Walking Dead or this? Because I really and I just met you, and I'm sure your channel's fascinating, but I totally disagree with what you're saying. And my wife's a nurse for 30 years, but I just can't do this unless you guys want to talk about Walking Dead. I think I'll jump out for a while.
No. We'll talk about The Walking Dead. Absolutely.
I completely disagree 100% with everything you said.
Tell me, no, I want to hear your opinion.
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to hear your opinion. Absolutely. Because what I'm saying is just my opinion. I want to hear your opinion.
Okay. And I mean no disrespect. So
his wife's a nurse also.
I'm sorry?
Oh, so because your wife was also, it's kind of, you guys are the same. And so his wife is also a nurse. Yeah. You guys both have wives that are nurses. So,
and I only wear this hat because they make me when I come in here.
No, I like
the got stories, the nurse stories, which is kind of cool. Go for it.
Here's the thing, and I'm trying to do this slowly. So I've studied a lot on germ theory. My wife has too, on viruses. We've been doing nothing. We have time. Because she retired 3 years ago. She was a charge nurse for almost 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there were cover-ups at the hospital. And that's partly why she retired, was because of a major cover-up. But having said that, we've been studying about this. And if this virus that's out there now exists the way they say, which first of all, I don't believe. One is, it's of such a minute particle that if you have, I don't even have one around anymore, but those masks that people wear, the cloth masks, they do nothing because it can travel through it. So that's the first thing. Second, it's the first virus that it supposedly can live without a host for up to 17 days on a surface.
That's weird.
The first virus that can transfer from a dog and a cat to a human.
Impossible.
It's the first virus that it actually gets worse if you take ibuprofen.
I don't know, yeah.
If you look at every symptom, because they come up with new ones all the time, I follow this. Pretty much any symptom now, they say is this virus, from vomiting to diarrhea to sore feet to pink eye to headache, everything. You can look it up. The list grows daily. That's another thing. The fact that the death rate currently, right now, is not even 1%. I mean, maybe where we at 2%. But I don't think we're at 1% of the death rate of the world. And yet we shut down the entire world over this. And the death rate from that is rising. Suicides are up. Home domestic violence is up. Alcoholism is up. Drug abuse is up. All of that's up.
Everything but the virus.
Government that supposedly cares for us, they want us to stay indoors, no sunshine, no touching anyone, no human contact. Don't hug your dog, they said. Don't hug your pets. They want you wearing a mask at all times when you're inside and outside. So you're breathing your own CO2, which causes more health issues. And people like my dad that already has breathing problems, and he's almost 80, they shame him if he doesn't wear a mask and make himself sicker. And now they make him wait outside an hour sometimes to go in at the perfect time for the old people. So now he's standing outside in a mask. So the people that are writing these rules, they don't like us, and they really don't have our best interests, because the things that would make you healthier, sunshine, fresh air, company with other people, these are the things that will make us healthy. Why aren't they saying eat vegetables? I never heard any news station saying that. No, and the restaurants are closed, but the fast food, that's open, and that's all garbage. And then they say, you can't go in the restaurant because it's teeming with this bacteria that you eat, but the kitchen's fine for takeout. I mean, none of it makes sense.
No, it's all hypocritical. It's all contradictory.
And so when you go into the hospitals, and many people on these shows, and please, Viz, this isn't about you. This is in me. I just had to get it out. You brought it up.
It's a good conversation. It's a good conversation.
I think this is great. And you know what? I just want to say there's not one thing that you've said that I've disagreed with.
I love it. Okay, so a lot of people on these channels have gone to the hospitals and done their own research. And even after the news station said they're overrun,
I did.
There's no one there.
No one there.
My wife and I went there, and we filmed it. There was no one there. All the little huts that they set up, they put them up in my town too. No one's ever in there. And if you do go get tested, which I would never recommend, because you'll probably come down with a positive, I think the numbers of like 80% of their tests are false at this point.
Yeah. I mean, false positives. Yeah.
So if you asked me to, you wouldn't ask me because I'm horrible at building things. I did build a chicken coop. But if you asked me to come build your house and I said, hey, you got the right guy, 20% of the time I do good. Right? I mean, none of this makes sense. And so people are buying into this whole thing that they're overworked. I know for a fact nurses are getting CDUs, which means they get sent home. And some of them are getting paid to stay at home because there's nobody in the hospitals because they canceled all the elective surgeries because they were all waiting for these COVID patients that never showed up. So now all these elective surgeries are backed up and people are starting to get in and maybe they're getting busy from that. But they don't have an accurate test, even at the hospital your wife works at for COVID. They don't. Even if they have it, it takes several days. Sometimes you can test back in 24 hours. Sometimes it takes several days. None of that makes sense either.
Yeah.
They've tested fruit and it was positive for COVID.
I hear you.
So
let me say, you know what? There's not a single thing you said that I've disagreed with. And you know, I even learned something. I did not know about that 17-day still on the counter. It's still active. Yeah. What I was told is that 48 hours and then it's dead.
Oh, wow.
That's what I heard too. Is 48 hours.
48 hours.
But there was a guy that was out on a sailboat for 17 days and he came down with it. So then they had to back change their story and say it lives for 17 days because otherwise
they keep changing. They keep changing it.
Yeah. Every day.
All of a sudden it has a new life. It can recirculate itself. It can redo itself. It can come right back into your body. Even if you have the antibodies, all of a sudden you can get it 3 times.
Yeah. You can be tested negative and then have it, or you can have it and not know it. You can get it from coughing, sneezing, or farting. I mean, really? A fart that goes through someone's pants and jeans, you can catch it, but a little mask or a bandana, you're okay.
No, what all the mask is just, it's a psychological thing. I have not worn a single mask.
Good. Good.
Wow.
I have not. And today, after I do this show, I have to go run an errand to the pharmacy. I have to go pick up some meds. Now, my wife got me a mask from the hospital. First of all, I go to her, this is what you got me. This is a girly mask. It's a blue floral mask. I'm like, this is what you want me to wear? I have not put on a mask once, okay? And I don't go out much anyways. I didn't go out much before this whole coronavirus thing. I'm a hermit, okay? I go to 7-Eleven to get my cigarettes, okay? I go to my doctor's appointments. I go get my haircut, and that's it. I'm not a big outdoor person. I spend a lot of time out front because I smoke. I enjoy sitting in the sun and just relaxing and having like you right there. I wish I was where you are right now. We could be sharing a smoke together.
Outside, yeah.
Exactly. I love to sit out front, have a smoke. I've never worn a mask. I know it's all psychological, but one thing that I do want to point out, and I think this is a good point that my wife has even brought up, the reasons why a lot of these hospitals are empty is because there are still people who are having heart attacks. There are still people who are having strokes. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is they're so afraid to go to the hospital.
That's true.
They're so afraid to go to the hospital that they're going to wait till it just gets really bad, and something that they could have went in and taken care of and, prevented and lived a long, happy life. a lot of them are going to end up dying now.
And then they're going to be written down as a COVID-19 death.
Yeah,
they're skewing the figures.
Exactly.
If you haven't seen, I highly encourage you to look into some of the streams that Dr. Kaufman's done about this virus.
Yeah.
Because especially since you and your wife are right there in that, I really want you to please look into the research that's being done on non-mainstream media people, because in my mind, and if you watch my channel, a lot of my videos discuss it. I don't believe in this virus at all. If you look it up, the coronavirus has been around for centuries. In fact, it was called the common cold, I think, in the 50s.
It is a part, yeah. It is actually a variation of the common cold.
Yeah, and the Lysol can says it kills it. And so what they did is they took an invisible boogeyman, and the economy was crashing. It was held up by nothing. We were off the gold market, and we've been printing money, and it's ready to crash.
Yeah.
So rather than make it about something, they made it
about Richard Nixon for that one.
I'm sorry?
We can take Richard Nixon for that one.
Well, I mean, it's just all over the whole world. But you're right. He took us off the gold standard. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But we all knew it was going to crash. Now, if they make it all about this and all this, I mean, the only thing that COVID so far I know has killed for certain is small businesses and middle America, because that's what it's destroying. I mean, you're allowed to go to Walmart and Home Depot, but not your little local guy. Yeah. And you're allowed to eat at any fast food chain, but not your local restaurant. Yeah. And then when they do try to open, the riots go and take the rest of it out. So that's what I see this is about. It's about a switch of money and power. It's about more control over us, because every day we lose more of our rights.
Exactly.
I mean, constantly.
No, I agree.
If you look into the virus, and you'll find out that it's nothing. Even if it's real, it's a virus that you maybe get an upset stomach and whatever for a little while, and then you're fine. The survival rate is almost 100%. Well, so by their own numbers, it makes no sense that we're doing this. This is what's happening in the world is separate. It's a smoke and mirrors game.
Let me bring up another number to you. There are 220,000 people per year in the United States that die from the flu.
We brought that up on the show. Yep.
220,000 people die every year during the flu.
Worldwide, it's over 1 million.
And we don't care about that.
That never gets brought up.
Yep.
That never gets brought up. And that's just astounding. When my wife told me that number, I was just floored. There's 220,000 people each year that still die from the flu. And now we have this, like you said, it's a variation of the common cold. And that's why they're calling it the novel coronavirus, because they're trying to tell us it's some kind of new strain of the common cold. And that's why it's so dangerous. It affects your respiratory system. You need to go on a ventilator.
Let me grab some.
I'm just not, personally, I'm not afraid of it. I joke around with my family. Oh, I'm immune. I don't think I'm immune. I know I'm not immune, but I joke around. But if I spend my whole life, I spent 2019 scared of my own shadow. Okay. And I'm not going to go around, after me coming to do that.
Well, no, I want to be official here if I'm going to give you some medical advice.
The doctor's in the house.
Like this, and I come out here and say that the Kernani's fake, and you're not going to catch it by their own numbers. If it was real, you'll survive at a 98, 99% rate.
Yeah.
If I came on here and told you, not you, but just said it in this, people will listen. But if I don't have this on, no one listens.
That's funny. Yeah. I think Semi Fan Man's got the Gypsy Road Channel virus now. He's part of it. Off the wall.
What?
Do you guys have an explanation? Because I've been trying to find out why the run on the toilet paper. Let's go back to The Walking Dead. Okay. Let's say the world is coming.
While you're talking, I'll find that clip.
Let's say let's say the world is coming to an end, which it's not with this coronavirus. People are, instead of buying canned food,
water,
non-perishable, they want their ass to be clean.
It's because we have larger rectums now. We defecate more.
I was waiting for
No,
Ron.
I'm serious. It's because we defecate more. You guys back home, back in Sagittarius Arm, we defecated.
Hold on.
twice a
We got
day.
bigger assholes. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't heard this one? My God, he said it like 100 times.
So your intestines have changed. You have less intestines. Remember, we used to have those really tight little bands like this, like 1,000 bands.
Yeah.
Now we have less. We have maybe 50% of the intestines we used to have. When you deuce, man, you're deucing like now. You eat in the morning, you might deuce around the evening time, but now you eat in the morning for breakfast. You got to deuce around noon.
Well, let me tell you what I did. Okay. Now, when this whole run started on the toilet paper, we still had a good stock to go.
Hey guys,
I was
this is for Bob. He got a bigger asshole. I got him some toilet paper.
It's for my larger rectum. Yeah.
Okay, can you make sure your stuff? Want me to stuff it in there for you?
I got this.
You sure?
I got
You
this.
sure?
I can wipe my own
I can
ass.
stuff it in for you.
I got this.
You know what? On the Walking Dead,
Here's the glove.
If this is the way this show works, just go with it. It'll calm
let me
itself.
tell you what. There's not a single episode on The Walking Dead where these guys put their lives at risk
For
to
toilet
make a
paper.
run for toilet paper. Not one episode did they risk their lives to go and find toilet paper. Okay, so that just astounds me. So anyway, I'm like, shit. We have enough toilet paper to get us through at least another 3 weeks. This is going back to like early March now. But
Get it in there. Get it in there.
yeah. So what I did is I went on Amazon, okay, because I knew our toilet paper was going to eventually run out. I was pissed that we can't find any in the supermarkets.
Same, man. Same.
I found some guy on Amazon who was selling 96 rolls of toilet paper for $150.
Wow.
And I was stupid enough to buy it. I
You
will admit.
bought it? Oh my
I
goodness!
bought it. I bought it. I bought 96 rolls of toilet paper. There's 5 of us living in here. Okay. So I don't know how long toilet paper was going to be out. So anyway, this box finally arrives and I open it up and you know what it looks like?
What?
Okay. Think of a hotel employee who has stolen a box out of the hotel toilet paper that they have, the flimsy short hotel toilet paper. I got 96 rolls of those.
Wow.
Right there.
You got
And I
suckered.
paid $150 for that.
Wow.
I got
96 tears. I like that.
that is not
96 tears.
that
It's
is not,
ironic because remember, guys, I know you're about my age, dude.
yeah.
Remember when we were kids, we used to toilet paper people's houses?
Yeah.
Oh, right? How much did that cost?
We used to toilet people's houses, and now I think of all that money in them fucking trees. We just threw toilet paper like it was nothing. We
Yeah.
were just toilet
Yeah.
paper people's houses, making yourself into like mummies, all the waste of toilet paper. And we
And
have
through eggs.
Yeah, all those doomsday preppers out there. I wonder how much toilet paper they have in their underground bunkers.
right.
You see it stocked with water, canned food, the stuff you would think you would need if like World War III breaks out tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure they have toilet paper, but it wasn't on the top of their list.
Oh,
You
you
know?
can wash your ass with water. It
Exactly.
might sound gross, but you got water, you got soap. I mean,
We had a joke. We had an inside joke back in the airlines that if we were on a road trip for more than one day and we only had one pair of underwear, well, you can flip it around and then you can turn it inside out and then you can flip that around and it's good for 4 days.
Well, you know what was in Europe? They didn't rush to the stores for toilet paper. And everyone was like, why didn't Europe like consume toilet? Because in Europe they have bidets.
Yeah.
Bidets.
Yeah.
You know what a bidet is, right?
yeah.
Have
yeah.
you guys ever watched that movie
Yeah.
Trading Places in the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay, I totally feel that's what's going on.
Of
So
course.
some real rich guys going, all right, what can we make them do a run on? Let's do toilet paper. And then they put it out there. It's starting, and then it goes. And then the other thing is they're also delivering shipping containers. I had pictures of this one Target by our area that had just tons of shipping containers show up, and they weren't ever empty. They were just sitting there. I think that they have the supplies because if you had toilet paper on a shelf and it filled in, people would stop thinking it was on a shortage. So if you only put in so many a day, you just go through them all the time. So then they're like, okay, we got them to do toilet paper. Let's get them to do, diapers and hand sanitizer. And then there was a news story that said, it's funny, all these idiots are running to get paper towels and toilet paper, and they're running past the beans and rice. Well, then all the beans and rice sold out. And then it's like flour. Anything they said on the televised vision, that's what runs out. So it's like these two people are sitting back going, okay, what can we get them to do now? Let's, and that's what I feel it is. It's like a couple 13-year-olds just goofing with us.
Hey, Bob, I got to add this for you, Bob. Germany ran out of toilet paper same time as the U.S., so I guess this country is like the U.S.
And Japan, I was watching Need Input, and I saw it there first before it hit us.
Yeah, and going back to the Trading Places movie with Eddie Murphy and, the two Rich brothers being the puppet masters and switching places, that's how I feel we are. We are the puppets. Yeah. And we have the puppet masters pulling our strings, and there's not a single, fiber in my being that believes that 6 feet apart, mask, any of this crap, it's all for psychological reasons. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's for them to be able to say as doctors, hey, we have a handle on this, and this is what you need to do, and this is what needs to happen. And so
I got a perfect analogy because supposedly we're talking about The Walking Dead. What they do to Daryl, exactly what they're doing to us.
Yeah,
in a cell, isolated him, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a CIA mind control program that they've announced. They've said this is what they do, and they're doing it to us, and no one cares.
Now, there's an episode on The Walking Dead in season 3 where they're all living in a prison and a flu outbreak happens. Okay,
I remember that.
Yeah, and it's just it's not like this deadly it's just the flu, but they don't have any meds. Okay, and people start dying, and one of them actually died in the middle of the night in the shower without anybody knowing. He died taking a shower, and then he turned into a zombie. And then before you know it, one zombie turned into two turned into 4, and they have a full outbreak. And then after that, they start isolating people. And one of the characters on the show took it upon herself to take the ones that were isolated and locked up in cells. And what she did is she killed them.
And then Rick got rid of her, yeah.
Yeah, she killed them, took them out to the back courtyard of the prison, and lit them on fire. And then, of course, you had the people in the prison who it was their loved ones getting all pissed off, and they were on Rick's ass. And Rick, who was the leader of the group, he had to exile her, which ended up working out for their favor because she saved her ass, half a season later.
That was fucked up.
That is fucked up. But, she was doing what she thought she needed to do. She wanted to put a stop to this flu outbreak. So her idea was, well, let's kill them and light them on fire.
I have that, Eric. If you want to, I found that video for him.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can. I'll put the volume up. Hopefully, I do this right.
Yeah, I don't see it yet. Hold on. Come on, we gotta move.
Okay. Is it this one here? Application. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, we see it. I see it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear it?
Not the mute. Oh, my God.
Can you hear the volume?
No, I can't.
The volume is like really low.
It's really low, but damn, look at that.
But you don't need to hear the volume.
They're going brains.
They're just making the Walking Dead sound like.
Oh my God, those are the zombies. They are the Walking Dead.
They're the zombies.
Just like you titled this episode, Gypsy. They are the Walking Dead.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
They're the zombies.
That's what I'm saying. 80% people will die because they don't know how to survive if something really happens.
Did you ever see a Rambo movie where he carried toilet paper with him?
Have you guys seen Men in Black?
Yeah.
Okay.
First one, yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines is when Tommy Lee Jones is talking to Will Smith, and Will Smith goes to him, man, why not tell people we have aliens here? They're smart. People can handle it. And Tommy Lee Jones turns to him and says, a person is smart. People are dumb, irrational beings.
Correct.
I love that line.
And I also used part of it. He also says in there that people used to believe the earth was flat. He says that too.
Yeah. A single person who thinks for themselves can make intelligent decisions. When you put a group of people together and rumors and falsehoods start spreading from one to another, that's when people become just stupid. That's when stupidity reigns right there. When you get a mass of people and they start spreading lies, or what they don't know it's lies. They've read it on the internet and they believe it's the truth. And that's when mass hysteria starts to happen.
That's when when like the authority themselves are stupid.
You got the ghost hat.
You got the
You got the
Oh,
ghost
I
hat.
saw Lifting the Veil was in here, so
when authority starts giving you stupid decisions. Now, about 2016-17, one of the weirdest things I heard it kept appearing on the news. This is before all this crazy shit happened. All I kept hearing about is Navy ships running into each other. I'm like, wait, what? Now, I was in the Navy. Now, I was a helmsman, and I did fucking unreps. How are Navy ships running into each other? It was a rash of them. It was like, I've never heard so many Navy ships running into each other. I go, we're stupid? Have we woke up one day and everybody became dumb? Because there's never been so many Navy ships smash into each other. And then I'm like, it's impossible to have this many ships do this. Are they all? Is the authority, is that a Navy officers that dumb? It appears to be that way. And then as you move forward with all these other authorities up in the offices, I look at them as idiots.
So this actually did happen. Navy ships were running into each other.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
A rash of them.
I thought it was like a fake story or something.
I looked it up too, and I was like, no, these dumbs are doing it, and there's no real leadership correcting the mistakes. They're just throwing it out to win as bad directions. Something, always an excuse for the military. Yeah. Fucking up a lot. Yeah. And this is just in the ocean. They're making bad decisions on land. They're making that bad decision. I mean, it was like all of a sudden everybody's officer is somebody's fucking nephew from some elite family. That's an idiot.
Hey, Bob, help ask, when was this, Bob? When was it?
I think around 2000. He remembers too. About 2017-ish,
2016, 2000. Okay, yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was all over the news, and it just kept coming. It wasn't just one.
You know, Bob, that's nepotism at its best, right there. You know,
right?
Members, everything.
It is that, yeah, and nepotism at its, which means, guys, that means they hire their children, they hire their cousins, they hire their nephews. Nepotism, nephews. You're hiring, keeping it in the family. So I've noticed all the authority are all part of some kind of little family connection. Everyone's connected in the government now. They're all connected. Trump has his whole family running the fucking planet right now.
God.
His daughter, his fucking little child son, his son-in-law is running the ventilators. He's got them.
Speaking of Trump, did you guys hear with the riots 2 days ago? He turned ass and ran into the bunker of the White House because of the riots in D.C. I'm like, first of all, great leadership, by the way. You know, right outside the White House, there's riots going on. And I don't know if it was the Secret Service. I don't know if it was his decision. But it doesn't look good when the leader of the country turns, tail and runs into his bunker because there's riots going on, on Pennsylvania Avenue. But he did. And I'm like, dude, you have like how many hundreds of Secret Service agents in the White House, okay, with guns that will not hesitate to shoot anybody that crosses the line of the White House. But they rushed him like the bombs were coming. The bombs were on their way.
Yeah. No, remember, he was expecting the underground. He didn't have to go in there. He was expecting. Well, he did an inspection. That's what they said on the news today.
The underground,
he did an inspection. Like what?
No, going back to Donald Trump, I just got to say this, okay? Donald Trump is from Queens, New York. I am from Queens, New York.
Oh, here we go.
Now,
Here we go.
yeah, and I don't know where in Queens he grew up, but I guarantee you, me and him grew up on opposite sides of the track, okay? I grew up in a very, what you consider, I don't want to say poor, but, whatever. He grew up, poor. Okay, that's good. He grew up on the, on the nice side of Queens. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is growing up before the age of cable TV did not come to New York City till 1987. Wow. So all we had before that was just our local news.
Yeah.
So me as a kid growing up, every time I would watch I didn't really care about the news, but it would be on and I would listen. It'd be Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, Marla Maples. I don't know if you guys remember Marla Maples. That's the woman he left Ivanka Trump for.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and he left Ivanka Trump for the younger Marla Maples. And then when Marla Maples got older, he left Marla Maples to whoever the next one was. I don't know who it was. I've lost track.
Well, he has a handful of pussy, so it's kind of like
exactly.
Yeah. Space Force.
So, growing up and listening about Donald Trump and all this shit he did is so ingrained in my childhood that when he started this whole campaign to run for president, I just laughed because I'm like, I would be surprised if this guy gets a single vote.
Wow.
Because I thought everybody knew the Donald Trump that I did growing up. He was all over the New York news back in the 80s and early 90s.
Well, yeah, he was also a manager at WWF Wrestling. So he's
yeah. And do you guys remember that spat between him and
who's that bar?
Yeah. And no, it was Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, not Roseanne Barr. Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
And he would call her a fat, disgusting cow. And this guy's now president of the United States. Hopefully not for much longer, but goddamn. I mean, I wish they would have seen the Donald Trump that I saw every day growing up on the news. Donald Trump, cheats on Ivanka. He's leaving Ivanka for this younger Marla Maples. And it just, when election day 2016, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to tell my kids tomorrow.
Yeah.
I spent all that time telling them there's no chance in hell this guy's going to win the presidency, and he did.
Yeah. That's why we will not survive in a collapsed world. We just won't.
No.
Can you imagine a collapsed world having fucking Trump in this zombie world being your leader?
Yeah, but they put the opposition too. Remember, Eric, they give you a choice now. Then you got Creepy Joe. Okay, you got Creepy Pedophile Joe. Then you got fucking you got a handful of pussy Space Force fucking Trump. And you like, what do you do?
Exactly. My wife does it best. You got to pick the lesser of two evils.
I hate that. And I hate Hollywood, because fucking Hollywood, the Me Movement, right? Me Movement against men. And then fucking Biden was running against 4 other people to run as president. You have 4 other people that did not have the baggage of what he did, but he still picked them. Hollywood still backed Biden. How the fuck can you go on air and say men are evil, we want equal rights, and you fucking get behind a Biden who sticks his finger up a woman's thing? You have all your speech, everything you've done is out the window.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
We could have had Sanders. I'm not saying Sanders is better, but at least Sanders didn't have the knowledge of sticking his finger up people.
I like Sanders. For me, the Sanders is the whole age thing, you know?
You have a Pocahontas. You have Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren. You had a woman right there, right? You had a woman who's not known the right men, but you still chose Biden over her. Yeah. I don't get it.
Now, if you go back to Biden, because he ran against Obama, right?
Yes, he did.
Primary, and he lost. But when Obama brought him in as the VP, and people got to see Biden for 8 years and how he, except for some minor fuck-ups that he said on air here and there, he basically played the nice poster boy standing still because that was his role as VP. He played that pretty well, you know, and I think that's what really led to him getting the nomination this year.
Yeah.
You know,
You know who you should vote for? Me. Everybody. I technically am running for president.
You
So
fill out the paperwork to run for president.
we don't want to waste your vote. Wasting your vote on somebody you don't like, that's not
Yeah.
wasting your vote. If
Vote
you
for
keep
Eric.
voting for these people all because, well, he's the better electable than the other guy, you're doing the country no fucking good. This is the problem with the United States of America. You're only voting in Democrats and Republicans. Fuck those two parties. Start voting in independents. Get these people
Exactly.
out. We all complain that our government sucks. Well, it sucks because we vote these people in. You are the cause of our government. You vote
I
these
don't-
motherfuckers in.
Yeah, we only have two major parties in this country. I think that's really limiting us.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more. And yeah, we do have like the Green Party. I don't know, the Green Party, the Independents, and whatever. But you know what? They don't have the money. It's all about money.
money.
All about
Yeah.
the money. All about your
All about
backers.
the money. I mean,
Correct.
you have Wall Street, you know, corporate America, Hollywood. Who are they going to throw their money up against? And whoever has the money,
Yep.
Hillary Clinton back in
I
2016.
highly recommend you guys watch as a cartoon about Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones plantation, because that's basically where we live.
Oh, yeah, see this.
Check it out.
I'll check that out. I'll check that out.
It's a black and white cartoon about Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones plantation.
I
'Cause that's
do,
what
I
this
do
is.
like to talk to you guys a little bit more about The Walking Dead. As you
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
know,
I'd rather discuss that.
yeah. I'm just sorry. I talk about it every night for an hour, and I thought this would be a night. I thought this has been a great break from that. And
Yes.
Oh, I don't
well, you
mind.
brought me on to talk about The Walking Dead, but you
I
know,
don't mind talking about the other things. Absolutely, this show always goes where it goes.
Goes
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
people always ask me, why do you do a daily show on The Walking Dead? And I'm like, I don't know, because it's fucking fun. It's
I'll tell you
fun.
where I dropped out. Honestly, where I dropped out. I mean, it got more and more ridiculous every year. When if they were going to put Rick like that and have two hordes come to eat him, just do that, okay?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to then make it so he's still alive, so you can come back with these other movies, and then they also ruined his death. They told you in advance. I mean, that was ridiculous. Like, no surprise
They
whatsoever.
didn't want to. They didn't want to. That was leaked. It was leaked, and then they had to cover their ass. It was leaked that he was leaving the show, and so what they ended up doing is they just marketed the shit out of his last episode.
Oh.
Did they market it with the whole first 5 episodes of last season, season 9, where the 5th one was his last one on the show? Oh, they marketed the shit out of that, and it was really highly rated. But here's the deal. The guy who plays Rick is Andrew Lincoln. He's British. He lives in the UK. And I actually interviewed on my show one of the big 8-time actors on it, like last week. And they all say the same thing. It is grueling as shit filming in the middle of summer in that in the Georgia sun. Andrew, a lot of them live in the UK, traveling back and forth from Georgia, filming in those conditions. He was doing it for 9 years, and you understand he wanted out. I understand he wanted out, but they knew that Rick was such a moneymaker that they approached him with this movie deal, okay? And I guess they gave him an offer he could not refuse, to quote The Godfather. They made him an offer he could not refuse, okay? And it didn't involve a horse's head on his
I was
bed.
going to say a horse's head. I was going to say
You know what?
No,
About
just
some of these
their
actors,
soul. That's all.
about some of these actors, and like that one girl, I can't remember her name, but she quit the show to do another show, and that show
Maggie.
sucked. It got
Yeah.
stupid, and Maggie, and they rehired her back to come in on the feature show. There's some actors are not made for the movies.
No.
And sometimes your bread and butter is that show. And I'm surprised sometimes these actors forget that and they think they can leave. They're going to make a big. I don't remember what actor was in the 90s, the redhead. He had red hair.
He was on some show first. He quit and then he tried to do movies.
Yeah. He thought he was going to make it huge in the movies. He thought he was going to be like next George Clooney, which technically George Clooney never made it really big in the movies. Remember him in Batman?
I remember George Clooney in The Facts of Life. Do you guys remember George Clooney on The Facts of Life with Natalie? Dude, that was, I don't know if you guys ever seen that. That's going way back into the 80s. But his first, I think, debut on TV was on a TV sitcom called The Facts of Life.
Yeah, he was like a teenager, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a handyman.
But don't these actors got agents to walk up to these actors and slap them in the face? Go, you're fucking stupid. If you leave this show, you're never going to be as big as you were on that show. Now, Rick was smart. They didn't kill him off, so he can't come back to make money. But most people like that stupid show, Grey's Anatomy, that's going on the 15, 16. Every time somebody leaves the show, they kill him off. And none of those people, like a blonde girl, the first 5 seasons.
I gotta say, I've never seen Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, well, you know what I'm talking about. There's a blonde girl. My wife watched it. Okay,
I watched it.
My wife watched it.
Eric, we
all quit because she thought she's gonna make it huge in the movies, and she never made it. She made one good movie with Seth Rogen about being pregnant or something, about getting knocked up. That's what's called. Beyond knocked up, she's a washout.
Yeah.
I mean, do these people not get their money?
And the same thing with the character you mentioned on The Walking Dead, who's Maggie, who's played by Lauren Cohen. She was offered her own TV show by ABC.
Yes, and it bombed.
And you know what? It bombed. Okay? I think it only lasted 2 episodes. That's how bad it was. It completely bombed. But at least the writers on The Walking Dead saw that she was still a valuable character, and there are a lot of fans that really turned on her when she left the show. A lot of fans turned on her, and I'm getting a lot of emails and such that when she comes back, when she does come back to the show, she has to start at the bottom of the list. And I'm like, what list? They're living in the apocalypse.
What are you gonna do at the bottom?
You're gonna put her in the background, walking around, planting flowers.
What's the difference between the bottom and the top? I mean, she's coming back, but anyway, they're bringing her back.
Just like Star Trek, they have the regulars, and then they have the red shirts to kill them off. I mean,
yes. If you're wearing a red shirt, you're gonna die in the episode.
So apparently she wasn't a red shirt, though. She was not supposed to be a red shirt.
No. I mean, Maggie was a major character, and she just disappeared. I didn't know she was leaving after several episodes because she left. Her last episode was the last episode with Rick, and then they did this big time jump on the show that went forward 6 years, and she was gone. She was gone. I'm like, where the fuck is Maggie? She's gone. And then I finally heard that she's got a new TV show coming. But on the show, they didn't kill her off. Luckily, they didn't kill her off. They had the foresight to see, you know what, this show may not work out for her, and we may have a great opportunity to bring her back. They were able to work out a deal. I personally like her, but you're right. The Walking Dead made her. She was also been in some movies. She was in that Mile 22 movie with Mark Wahlberg. Play those CIA killer squad. You guys probably haven't seen it. It's called Mile 22. It just came out like 4 years ago or something.
I've seen it, but I don't remember it being that good to remember all of it.
Mark Wahlberg was really great. He played that bipolar, couldn't shut his mouth, leader of this CIA assassin squad, and she was his very foul-mouthed partner. But anyway, I thought she was pretty good in that movie. So we all know she's a great actor. And what makes or breaks a show, besides good acting, is the writing. If the writing sucks, the show is going to suck.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
That's what happened to Lost.
And her show, which was called Whiskey Cavalier, I believe, it sucked. I
think they should give me Bob a show.
Yeah.
I think they should.
You know what? You guys seem to be doing pretty good. You guys seem to be doing pretty good on your own, you know? The future of TV is right here.
I know, right?
With everybody in quarantine, we're doing the future of TV.
Roberts.
We had to make our own TV show. It was so desperate. I can't stand anything out there. I even stopped watching. No offense to Walking. I loved Walking Dead. I'm not putting it down. I stopped watching it when Negan was in there because I was satisfied. I was like, to me, it was like I can walk away because Negan's here. Yeah, he's gonna beat the shit out of Rick eventually, and he's gonna take over. I felt like it was I like
That would have
Negan.
been a much better show if they made it about him. And instead, they totally, excuse the word, pussified him. They took one of the greatest villains of all time, and they made him a sniveling little whiny baby in a cell.
I don't know.
Out of like he had some evil plan. No, he was just a sniveling, whiny little baby in a cell.
Yeah, and now, if you guys don't know, Negan has completely flipped. He's out of the cell. He's out of the cell, and he's actually it has helped him. Who's going to defeat the Whisperers, and he has become a good guy.
Yeah.
And I got to say one thing about Negan. The actor who plays him, J.D. Morgan.
He's from Washington.
He's a fucking great actor.
My wife actually
I
met him.
love him. I think this guy, he can play the asshole. He can play the endearing, sympathetic type, drama. He can do anything. And the way that he played Negan was great.
Great.
Season 7 of him just shoving his boot down everybody's throat was really hard to watch. And then you have the big war that broke out in season 8. And they were discussing, actually, when Rick was going to leave the show, they were actually discussing the possibility of Negan killing Rick.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped watching the show. I stopped watching. I thought, to me, it was over. I can move on and do other things with other shows. I thought Negan, in my mind, I thought Negan was taking over because Rick got soft.
Well, he will, too. And I told this before. By the end of this season or the beginning of next season, Negan is going to be the head of the major community on The Walking Dead.
Wow. There was I will admit, there was a cool scene in the last season with Negan where Negan had to make love to that leader woman wearing that mask on, wearing the dead mask.
Did that stir some shit up on social media?
Tell me that's not predictive programming. They're wearing masks on the show.
Yeah, and you know what? As an actor, he made you believe it that it actually turned him on.
He's like, hey,
I actually I should have dipped out. I tried a little bit longer after that with some of the whispers, and then I couldn't take it because it was getting too, for me, where I'm at spiritually, it was just getting too evil. And I want to know what your thoughts are, because I should have turned it off and never looked back when Michonne took out a sword and brutally murdered a bunch of children. And that was so disturbing, I couldn't even watch the episode. Whoa. And I don't understand why that was allowed on the air or why the show was even allowed to continue. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Yeah, that episode that you're talking about, it was very disturbing, but those kids, they were evil.
You have children. You have children.
Exactly.
As a father, watching that on the screen, the story murdering children was really hard to take. Yeah, I couldn't watch it.
And there's a lot of, as the show has moved through the years, there's a lot of stuff in the earlier seasons that they nixed because they said it was too dark. And apparently somewhere along the line, they've just crossed over completely to the dark side.
Don't you think that's wrong as a society? It's getting really bad.
It is wrong, but this show has always been about the shock factor. Okay? Yeah. It's always been about to show you what humanity can become if civilization falls apart. And those kids, it was not, if you saw the whole episode, it wasn't the kids' fault. They were being misled by this deranged adult woman. And Michonne did not want to kill kids. She was begging them to, hey, you guys are wrong. You're brainwashed. Don't do this. And then she was forced into a situation where it's either she lets the kids kill her or she killed them because they were holding her kid as a hostage. They had her daughter, well, not her biological daughter, but Rick's daughter that, she took over as her mom, and they had her daughter there, and they were trying to convert her. So that's what the writers on The Walking Dead really want to portray is that, when all rules go out the window, the world is going to get really fucked up. And we're actually seeing the world getting really fucked up. We don't need to watch TV to see that.
Well, that's true, though.
Hey, what episode and season was that one? Somebody's asking in the chat.
Yeah, what season was that?
When what?
What season was that one with the children? What season?
The prior one, season 9.
Yeah.
We're on
Okay.
season 10 now. It happened very soon after Rick left the show, and it was a flashback.
Oh,
Flashback.
Okay.
It was shown because, like I said, the show did a 6-year time jump, and we didn't know what happened in those missing 6 years. And those 6 years are going to be filled in by the Rick Grimes movies. Okay. We're going to get a big what happened in those 6 years during the Rick Grimes movies. But the whole child incident thing happened as one of the flashbacks that we saw while she was actually pregnant. Michonne was pregnant with Rick's child.
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys know what? Bob, you back me up on this. I've been watching a lot of British like cop shows from Britain. I noticed that Britain kills a lot of kids in their shows. More than America. I mean, we think America.
In war, here's the reality of life. Now, nobody knows this unless you've been in wartime. You wouldn't know this. You think of a guy all sweaty with grit on his face shooting another guy with grit on his face and some, no. They're kids. When I was overseas battling the bad guys, they were kids. 90% they were kids.
Yeah.
They were teenagers. Soldiers were teenagers and younger. When you're in Vietnam, the oldest age for an American was 19. 19. And younger. That's an old fighter. An American soldier is 19, 18. And overseas, they're younger, 16, 14, 15, 13, 12. They're holding
in
guns
TV
at
shows,
12,
it
11.
wasn't really a big deal. It makes sense.
Yeah, so that somebody else just said, okay, well, here's the reality of life. Americans don't know it. They just think of American soldier movies with men on men. No, man. It's fucking little kids with grenades and missile launchers, and they can get into everything. They'll kill you. They will kill. I've been shot at by children. I've had kids come up to me and pull a gun out. I'm like, holy fuck! How old are you?
One of the most shocking and great movies I've ever seen since you brought up Vietnam. Have you guys seen Heavy Metal Jacket?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Sorry.
Andy Kubrick.
Oh, I love that fucking movie. I just that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that
one of
woman.
the ending scenes when they're being sniped out.
With a woman, a little kid.
It was a woman. It was a woman with what? She had an AK or something.
Yeah.
And she was just taking them out, and they showed her no mercy. I think she was begging them to kill her when they actually shot her and she was wounded.
Yeah.
But anyway, that whole movie. I mean, damn, so many freaking great movies through the years. I'll tell you what, man, it's amazing. And a lot of my audience that I do on my show, I have an audience that ranges from like 13 to 55. You know what I mean? Right. And it's amazing that when I bring up some of the old movies, there's a lot of kids and teenagers out there that never even heard of them. And one of my missions is, guys, listen, this movie's before your time, but check it out.
Check it out anyway. Yeah.
I have told my kids, okay, because I don't think my oldest is 17, then I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. I don't think they're yet emotionally ready, not for the violence, but to understand. But I told them, as soon as I feel you guys are ready, I'm going to sit your asses down and watch The Godfather. Okay, The Godfather is one of my all-time favorite movies. You know what I mean? It's just that it's a heavy drama. It's complicated. It's got a deep storyline, but it's just one of those movies. There are just certain movies throughout time. I don't care what year you were born. You got to see The Godfather. You got to see. If you're a horror fan, The Shining. I mean, the Dead movies, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, Brains. Remember the zombie that got in the cop car and pulls out the CB?
Yes.
Or brains.
Bring more brains. Bring more
brains. Those are great movies. And I'm not trying to just change things of the whole ME thing, but one of my most favorite movies, if you know about Mandela Effect, it's been changed. Is the original Night of the Walking Dead. When the guy's in the graveyard at the very beginning, the line where he says, well, what I remember, they're coming to get you, Barbara.
Yes,
it doesn't say that anymore.
What?
What do you mean? That is a Barbara. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Yeah.
Somebody find I can look. I'm not good at this, but I'll
Yeah,
look.
It changed. It
I'll-
changed.
I'll
Even
look. I'll look.
even horror movies that are made today, in a scene, if the characters are watching a movie in the background, they're watching Night of the Living Dead.
I love that. movie.
Always.
Such a
Oh, I
good.
love that movie. I love the black and white
Yeah.
original.
You actually told me about a story about a Mandela effect for you on The Walking Dead. Can you tell us that story?
Oh, this goes back to the end of season 2, and I mentioned this on not on my show, but I did a post about it on Instagram. I did a little video. I remembered at the end of season 2, in my mind, where Rick Grimes specifically uses the word dictatorship. Okay, saying this is not a democracy anymore; it's a dictatorship. I was positive of it. I was so
think it back.
positive of it.
It
And
must be a
my son started binging the show, and he got to that episode in season 2, and I'm prepping him. I'm like, get ready. The line is coming up. Rick is going to say dictatorship, and it never happened. The only thing he says was, this is not a democracy. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This was on Netflix. He was rewatching it on. And my first immediate thought is Netflix changed it up.
Wow.
And I was determined to find Rick say the word dictatorship. It didn't exist. It never happened. What happened was, after that episode, social media is where the term dictatorship and rickocracy were created. It's never part of the show. It was in articles, it was in blogs, and it was just so widespread that in my mind, as the years went on, and this was 8 years ago when that show aired live, I believed, in my mind, melded the fact that he said the word dictatorship.
Wow.
And I just went on for the full day to my family, because here I was prepping my son for this great line that never existed.
Huh.
It never fucking existed.
Nice.
He's pounding at me. That's awesome.
He's got his own personal Mandela effect. It was for you.
If that's not the Mandela effect, then I don't know what the hell is.
And I looked
Are
up
you,
lights there, and it wasn't there because my wife and I and some other people, we were doing it. We were freaked out. Somebody brought it up on a show, and now it's back. So I don't know what to say about that one.
No,
Do you have any other like major Mandela effects that you recognize? That
you know what?
Oh, ask him about. He's from New York. Ask him about the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask him? You're right there.
I have so many Mandela effects that I have not even realized are Mandela effects yet. Probably. You know what I mean? I have memories that I just specifically remember a part of a movie or something in my life happening a certain way, and I guarantee you I'm probably wrong. It just happens to all of them.
50-50. Everybody, it's 50-50. You're not always right. I get a lot of things different than other people. They have the effect. So nobody's the same. Now, here's a question for you. Here we go. The Statue of Liberty. What island is it?
Well, hold on one second. Let me go to Ceiling Fan Man.
Yes, sir.
You called Night of the Living Dead Night of the Walking Dead.
No, Night of the Living Dead. If I said it wrong.
Just a few minutes ago, you didn't call it by the right title. You said Night of you said like Night of the Walking Dead. You didn't call it Night of the Living Dead. You know, it's just how the mind fucks with you. You know what I mean? You get all these different shows that have similar titles, and it just everything gets melted together.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Now,
cool.
somebody wanted me to ask you. Ask him about Ed McMahon. Do you remember Ed McMahon delivering checks to people's houses?
Yeah, the clearinghouse sweepstakes.
Yeah, he doesn't do it anymore, dude. He doesn't work for them
Never did.
anymore.
You're wrong.
He's never done it before, ever. He's never
Look
delivered
it
a
up.
check
Yeah,
before.
look it
ever.
up.
What do you mean he's never done it before?
He's never done it before in his timeline, dude. Ed McMahon
Dude,
has
there's
never.
commercial. There's video proof of him doing it.
Yeah, I know, but he's never done it in history. He's never done it.
When I do this with my dad, there's a movie, the Die Hard, when he throws the body out the window and he screams at the guy, "Welcome to the party, pal."
Yeah.
you're living that moment. Welcome to the party. Pat.
Yeah. Ed McMahon has never delivered a public
I
clearinghouse
grew up watching Ed McMahon deliver checks to people's houses.
You're misremembering. You're misremembering. You are misremembering. Also, go back
So who the
to
hell was delivering those checks?
nobody is delivering those checks. It wasn't Ed McMahon.
Now there's a whole new timeline. Him and Dick, what's that guy's name that did the New Year's Eve show?
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark. Him
Yeah.
and Dick Clark supposedly now together work for American Family Publisher and did that. But if you check out this dude's channel, if you haven't watched Brian Stavely, you need to check it out.
He's
But
a New
he has
Yorker.
the whole thing about the Ed McMahon, and he even there's a rap song that Ed McMahon did like later in life when he had no job, and he's in a car with a rap guy, and they're going to people's houses asking for the check back, which again makes no sense if he never did it. See? Welcome to the party, pal.
He never delivered a check. Never. He did not work for Caesar's Steakhouse.
Like I did with my son. After this show, I don't know how much time I'm going to have, but I'm going to try to prove you guys wrong because I remember.
Please.
And I'll give you one more.
I don't care if I have to Photoshop Ed McMahon in
That's
there.
okay. I'll give you one more.
Please
You
do.
love movies. Do you remember the movie The Matrix? I'm sure
Yeah.
you've seen it.
Yeah.
You remember the line where Morpheus says, "What if I told you everything was a lie?" Remember that line?
Yeah.
And they meme it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Okay, $100 if you can find me that and send me that scene. It never existed. You're misremembering it.
What I
pay
need you to do is-
$100. You can figure out a way to get. I can get money to him. If you can find me that scene where Morpheus says that line about "What if I told you?" and he's handing him the red pill, send me that.
Luke,
I want you to find it. If you do find it, I want you to come back on the show and show us those clips because we want to see it.
You want to see that evidence?
Wow.
Where's Brian? He left, did he?
You guys are ruining my childhood. You guys are ruining my childhood memories.
Now remember, is Statue of Liberty? Is it on Ellis Island or is it on a different island?
No, that you're not going to get me on. Ellis Island is a different island from where the Statue of Liberty is on.
Okay, so okay, a lot of people have multiple memories on that one. I remember Ellis Island.
Including this coin, if I can get it to focus.
I could see it.
I remember he was on Ellis. She was on Ellis Island.
No, Ellis Island is a separate island. The Statue of Liberty, I don't even know what. I don't think it is. I don't even know if it has a name or not. It's just the Statue of Liberty. It's on a separate, like, octagonal little island, and Ellis Island is off to the side of it. And yeah, the Statue of Liberty is all on its own little separate rock.
This is great. This is what I've been talking about. A lot of people have 50-50 on the memories, including myself. It doesn't mean you don't have the effect. It just means you have one separate one that's a little bit different from everybody else's. But for the most part, you have a lot of Mandela effects.
Like these photos that I found. I mean, I was there. I took pictures inside where they had the old torch, and I don't even know why this was in there. But I found these photos from when I went to New York, and I even went up higher. I didn't go all the way up in the torch. I'll find it here. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I'll admit, I was born and raised in New York 23 years. I never once stepped foot on the Statue of Liberty.
It's on Woodford.
Never once.
It's on Woodford. It's a star fort. It's called Woodford. Fort Wood.
The closest I ever got is we had an out-of-town guest, and we did a ferry boat ride that just went right past it. That's about it.
Wow.
Yeah. We used to
That's
get it.
about right. 70% of Washingtonians never been on the Space Needle.
Yeah.
It's like when you live there, you're always telling yourself, "I'll go there someday."
Yeah.
But you never do. It's tourists who go there.
And the only reason, like, I as a young kid, I went to like the museums of like natural history. It's because they were part of school trips.
Yeah.
You know.
So this is when I was inside the Statue of Liberty, and those are people that are going higher than me, which would be to the torch, I believe.
Wow.
But supposedly that never happened. I don't know if I have that
It was
right.
shut down or something like that, wasn't it? It was like shut down. You couldn't go in the torch.
Damn.
Yeah. And then, but see, I got up this high for sure.
But you got pictures of being in there when you can't be in there.
And I got this.
Hey, Gypsy, can you bring up that quote again?
Oh, this one.
I even remember
Joyce
the
Foster-
Publishers Clearinghouse and Ed McMahon being sued for defrauding the elderly who were on fixed income. They worded the documents to make them believe that they had won and didn't. So Joyce was also with me in believing that Ed McMahon was right there with the Publishers Clearinghouse. So at least I'm not alone.
You're not.
No, we remember
Okay,
too.
hey, listen. You watch. Sounds like you watch a lot of movies. That's
Oh, yeah.
great. This is a good one for you because this one that got me on the Mandela effect side. This got me big time. Do you remember the movie Moonraker?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Do you remember Jaws with the silver teeth?
Yes.
Now,
Jaws.
do you remember the scene where he fell in love with Dolly, the girl in front of
Yes.
him? Do you remember why he fell in love with her by any chance? Was there something special that she had?
I don't remember offhand.
Do
Sorry.
you remember? How about this? Do you remember her teeth being white or having braces?
Oh, her teeth were white.
Oh, really? See, for me, she
Wow.
had braces, and that's what got me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all.
For me too.
It's just all different. It's all different. Our minds. I don't know. I don't know exactly. You know where the first time I ever heard of the Mandela effect? The X-Files.
Really?
Yeah,
you guys
they-
ever watch the X-Files?
Oh, yeah,
the more
yeah.
recent one they did one. Yeah.
We used
Yeah.
to make chicken wings just for the X Files.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
I love the X-Files. And that's the first time I actually heard the term the Mandela effect. And actually the way Mulder, David Duchovny, explained it. And then it's been mentioned also on other shows that I watch, like Criminal Minds, which is about the
Oh
behavioral
God.
analysis unit of the FBI.
Did not.
Yeah, I watched Criminal Minds. And
Were
I
they
admit-
portraying Mandela people as axe murderers for real?
Yeah, I like Criminal Minds. I admit it got a little dumb after the
Really
10th
difficult
season.
episode. I really like you too, but this is a really difficult episode.
Oh my God.
I like Criminal Minds. I mean, I had watched the first 10 seasons. I was going to finish the damn thing. You know what I mean? But anyway, they went on to explain the whole Mandela effect.
Oh,
They asked questions.
They
Like,
sure did.
they asked questions like, Curious George, did Curious George have a tail or not?
Of course he did. My time.
No, he didn't.
You don't remember that either? You don't remember it?
Curious George in the books, he never had a tail.
Oh my God, he did. In my memory, yeah, he did. That's
No.
crazy.
You know,
This is cool.
Curious George did not have a tail. Now, hey, you know what? This is according to Criminal Minds.
Oh, okay. How about you? I thought it was like you remember that way.
No. This is against Curious Minds. One of the characters asked, "You guys remember Curious George having a tail or not having a tail?" And they're like, "Well, he had a tail." And the BAU guy said, "No, Curious George never had a tail."
And then they picked up an axe and cut someone's head off. No, that's a terrible show. You should stop watching it immediately.
Now, have you watched that stupid movie called Mandela Effect?
No, I didn't even know there was a movie.
Yes,
Oh,
there
God.
is, and it's
Don't do it.
garbage.
Why do you keep sending him to things like that?
Don't
Is
let
it
don't
is it a
watch
movie or a
movie.
documentary?
It's garbage.
No.
Horrible.
No, they made a movie. It's like they made a movie trying to do like a documentary of things that why people believe in Mandela effect into this movie, but it's fucking stupid. It's lame because they made it where it took a dead daughter to make her wake up to this. It made him like a sad person, not where like
Yeah.
Bob. When Bob woke up, Bob wasn't sad. He didn't
No,
have
how
someone
is
that
that?
died. He just woke up.
They
But
did it
in
like
the
Donnie
movie-
Darko. It was the same kind of thing. Big creepy
Yeah.
rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
big
man.
big rabbit.
Oh
But
man,
going back,
What about
but
this
going-
movie? What about this one?
I love Forrest Gump.
Okay, so what about this line back here? Where is it? Come on, camera. Will you focus once?
Yeah, it's out of focus. I can't see it.
Come on.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, that quote right there. Remember
you
that?
never know what you're gonna get. Yeah. What about it?
Never was said. He now says life was. Now, if I
Whoa,
misremember,
wait, hold on. He said in the movie, he said life is like a box of chocolates,
yeah,
right?
go back and like this is my VHS copy. If you play this, he now says life was past tense, which really doesn't make sense.
Why would they change that? That's
And if they could have changed it, then you tell me why did they misprint it on the box? Because you know how many thousands of people would have had to have gone through this before it got to my hand,
yeah.
and they all misremembered it and they did it wrong.
Oh
you
my
know?
god.
Yeah, watch this movie. That line's changed.
Here.
Field of
I got
Dreams
kicked off.
no longer says if you build it,
They
they
will come.
it's he.
There.
It doesn't
Hey,
make
Bob,
sense.
hey guys, Bob got kicked off, so I'm resending him to StreamYard in the chat.
Oh,
Bob,
my hat. I'm sorry, Bob. Here.
Are you
See-
kidding me?
Vince, his hat, his hat that he was just wearing is actually haunted. We had a person on the show that saw it, and we saw, if you look at his previous video, he actually had a black ghost following on that hat.
Yeah, there's something.
Wow.
Yeah, we have mediums that come on the show sometimes. We have them all.
I love paranormal. So listen, you got to let me know. Give me a heads up when you're doing any kind of just so I can watch, because I love all things paranormal. And I'll admit it, everything on TV that is paranormal, stupid or not, I have watched it. Now, my favorite paranormal TV show was this one show called My Haunted House. It was on either the Travel Channel or Destination America. Those are the two big paranormal TV show channels. But for me, watching these paranormal shows on TV, yeah, I believe in the paranormal. I don't need to be convinced about the paranormal. I don't ever want to experience the fucking paranormal because I believe it's there. I just don't want to see it. But this show called My Haunted House had the absolutely scariest dramatic recreations that I have ever seen. But for some freaking reason, they got canceled like after 2 or 3 seasons. And it was this amazing show. And they kept on these other, stupid shows that are still going on that I have no idea why they're still going. And they
that doesn't
canceled
work.
this
I can
great
probably give you an
episode
iPad.
called My Haunted House. So, yeah, I love all things paranormal, man. I've seen them all.
It's our show now.
Yeah,
No,
you're the host.
no,
You're
no,
the host.
no.
Is that your walking stick there?
That's Bob's. He found it on the ground. He bought the stick. I don't know what he's doing with it. That sick fuck.
Are
Well,
we doing this again, Eric? You're always threatening me because I'm ready for you, man.
going back to The Walking Dead, that would be the kind of stick Morgan used to be doing his Aikido, his fancy martial arts Aikido moves and killing people with sticks like that. So that's
yeah. That guy who took off and joined Fear the Walking Dead.
Exactly. Him.
Yeah.
And Eric, I could not watch that spinoff. I tried, but here's the problem.
You're right. I watched half of that season, and I can never watch it again. I didn't like it at all.
As much
What I
as
tell everybody, go on.
they were actually fun to watch, I could really care less about any single character in that other show, so it didn't matter if they died or not. And in fact, the people that were trying to take over their boat were actually more interesting. So, so I turned that one off. I couldn't.
You're right. I never watched that.
As far as Fear the Walking Dead goes, I tell everybody, if you're going to watch Fear the Walking Dead, first off, don't benchmark it against The Walking Dead. You got to watch it as its own show. And it took well into the second season after the whole boat thing to where it started getting interesting. It started getting interesting like towards the end of season 2. And it's been up and down. It's been up and down, just like The Walking Dead has been up and down. And like I revealed yesterday on my show, The Walking Dead.
I don't know. I thought that was Bob using another name. So some guy named Ivan. I actually thought Bob was changing his name, being goofy. I don't know who that was.
I love Eric. I just love him.
Guys, I got to get going soon, but I just want to say what I mentioned last night about The Walking Dead. For some reason, I know you guys stopped watching the show, and I totally
I finished it. I caught up during the pandemic. I actually caught up and watched it all.
Okay, that's cool. And I just want to say season 8 with the war was good. Season 9 was kind of slow, kind of hard. But this current season that we're finishing up, we're waiting for the finale. It's really been something special. And what's really strange, the show is on its 10th season right now. And what's really weird is it's having a resurgence in ratings again.
Yeah, because everyone's in their house, nothing to do.
You're probably right. But it's getting more viewers back because they do have nothing to do, and the ones that did stop watching it years ago have seen maybe a little bit of this season and decided to binge watch maybe to get caught up. But anyway, just about this current season where we're waiting for the finale to air at some unknown time in the future, it's been epic. This season has been really great. So if you guys want to feel like watching it or just watching, you know what? If you don't watch anything else, whenever they give us an air date for the finale, watch that. Just watch the finale, and if you like it, go back and watch what you missed. That's the best advice I can give you. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I just have a feeling this finale that we're going to be seeing here sometime, hopefully soon, is going to be absolutely epic.
So,
it's going to be epic.
So Ivan, Michael Healy said, have you come back on? So Ivan, who are you?
I'm just one of your big fans.
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, Michael Healy said come back on. So if Michael Healy gives him the thumbs up, he's got to be an okay guy. Do you have anything for The Walking Dead? Do you watch The Walking Dead yourself?
No, don't watch a great deal. Well, don't watch any television now. I cut that out a long time ago.
What has it been replaced with?
YouTube.
Yeah, watching you guys.
Yeah, same with me.
I am what call Russian vids is a baby truther. I'm trying to absorb as much information as I can from varying different genres, from the Mandela Effect to all of it, Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And
But
it's just deciphering all that information.
Yeah.
No, well,
I want you to see this gentleman
you're
here.
in the right place for it.
He's got some of the memories and not all the memories that a lot of people have with the Mandela Effect. And you see he's affected just like we are.
Yep.
Even if he has one slight different memory, he still has the effect. I keep telling people, everybody has it to a degree.
Happy feet.
Yeah. And I want people to realize that the NPCs, they're the others. No, he's not an other, man.
And I really wanted to discuss something because I don't read the chat much, but I did look at it today. And regardless of our views, if someone's going to listen and someone's going to interject and talk, I'll talk to them all day long. Because I really do. Like, how do I point to you? No, I'm enjoying this conversation.
Me too.
I differ on certain things and a core value on certain things I totally get. But he's listening and I'm listening.
Yeah, I totally respect your opinion, 100%.
So I really appreciate you coming on here, even if we think differently and some of the people in the chat think differently. Just the way this works.
But feeling you thought you guys were thinking differently, but then you found out through a good solid conversation he was agreeing with you because we are willing to have the conversation. And I'm glad you stayed on, Feeling, because if you would have left Feeling, we would have never got to that point where we're all the same.
You know, and I just want to mention one thing that really pisses me off, and this is why I don't go on my personal Facebook anymore, is I have these grown adult, mostly family members, and they fight over this political views of people, and they really, really, truly believe they're going to be able to change someone's opinion. The reason why people have political views, it's because it's how they feel. It is not your job or anyone else's job to tell them they're either right or wrong. That is their opinion, and you got to respect it. You don't have to agree with them, but at least respect it. You know what I mean? Respect it, and don't start stupid fights. That's why I stopped going on Facebook.
Yeah.
All it is.
But the left and right paradigm with the political process is that, or so I'm learning to believe, is that it all goes down to the same track anyway. They're all being puppeteered by the same people. They're just reading a script, if you like. They say, this is what we want you to do, and we want you to do it in this order. And it doesn't matter whether it's, liberals or conservatives or whatever you guys have got out there. It's just a massive show.
And my favorite lines is from this movie called The American President, where he says, you know what democracy is? Democracy is standing, this is not verbatim, I don't remember it verbatim, but democracy is you standing 5 feet away from someone who is burning down what you've spent a lifetime advocating. That is what democracy is. Tolerance. Hearing someone else's opinion, you don't have to agree with it, but at least fucking respect it. Okay? And don't have the view that you have this magic power to change someone's opinion, whether it's on politics or whatever it is. Listen to them, accept it, respect them for their opinion, and don't have this stupid belief that you're going to be able to change their mind and have everybody come to your way of thinking, because that's not how the world works. And if the world did work that way, goddamn would it be a goddamn boring world to live in if everybody thought and felt the same thing.
No, I love that because there's a lot of conspiracy about 5G. I don't want to get into 5G right now, but Bob knows that I'm not into all the conspiracies about 5G because I used to work for the cable company that did 5G before 4G and 3G. So even though I don't believe everything about it, it doesn't mean we can have a decent conversation. Yeah. You know, it doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. It's just since I worked in that field with the 5G, 4G technology, that I have different feelings about it than most people do.
I'm sorry. I've had I'm looking at the time, and I can't believe we've been on for over an hour and 47 minutes.
No.
Hey, Eric,
I gotta pee like a mother. You know, I got to the bathroom. You can take holding it in for the last 20 minutes. I've got to pee, but this has been fascinating.
That was in a past life. I actually
go pee, man.
Commercials.
Anyway, guys, this has been amazing. I love this. I'm so glad I agreed to come on and meet you guys. You guys are fucking amazing. I love you guys. I have to go do my fatherly duties. I got to first go pee, and then I got to go run to the pharmacy, and then I got to go prep for my show tonight.
He's going to smoke a cigarette.
Well, actually, we usually end our show at the 2-hour mark, so I don't like to go past 2 hours. I think sometimes if you go past 2 hours, things starts to go a little down. But
all right, can I get a minute to go pee, have a smoke, and come back?
Yeah, come back and go take a pee and come back.
Okay, I'm gonna go smoke too.
Go for it.
Watch your hands. You don't want the cranani on your digger.
I'll be right back.
Go.
I'm going.
Unfortunately, I gotta go, guys, because my wife's just turned up from work, so I've got to go and do my husbandly duties. But
I appreciate you jumping on, even though it's a little bit, but we appreciate you jumping on. That's cool.
I just saw the link. I thought it was fantastic. But I'd love to come back on when I've made a few notes. But like I said, this was just a spur of the moment, and I just grabbed that opportunity. Well, I thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
He makes me miss England now. I miss England.
Talk to you later. So
I'll see you guys again.
So one of the things,
Eric, I found something that I actually sent it to Jen, because when I first met Jen was because of her Super Soldier video. Ooh. And I didn't even know that was Jen at the time. That goes way back. I don't know if you ever saw that. Have you seen that? It's like the thing that made her viral. She took pictures of these cops that were standing by this convenience store, and one of them is just like,
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so there's a thing going around on Twitter right now, and let me see if I can go. I'll bring this up full screen, and if you can, two things about it. One is it's President Trump walking, and next to him there is a guy. Let's see if I can do this. How do I do this? Share. Am I sharing this one? Does it look like a Twitter page? Can you see that?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
Okay. So now, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but here I'm going to play it, and I'll kill the audio because in case there's music to it. Sometimes there's music. Hopefully I'll play it. But the thing that... Oh, kill the music. There we go. Of course, it's not working for some reason. But over here comes a real giant guy, but there's two things about this video that are weird. Let me try to redo it. Sorry if I'm jacking your show here. Here we go.
No.
I gotta kill him. Okay, so as Trump goes, you'll see just towards the end of this video, he'll appear. There he is.
Damn.
Did you see him?
Let's see again.
Yeah, like a 7-foot motherfucker and big too.
That's Trump.
Watch. And then there's another weird thing about this video, and that's really what I wanted to talk to you about. Look at the size of that guy.
What the fuck is that?
Where did he come from?
What the fuck is that?
Because Trump's not a short dude.
No.
Look how Trump's
He's
a tall
tall.
dude. Look at the size of this guy.
No, Trump is about 6 something, so that guy's got to be about 9 fucking foot tall, man.
Okay. Now there's another weird thing about this video that you got to watch, and this is really freaky. You thought that was freaky. So right here, can you see my arrow? I don't know. Okay.
Yes, I can see it.
So you got Trump right here, and you got a guy that's right behind him, and a bunch of other people. So what I want you to do is watch this bush, because here's the weird thing: this vampire gives no shadow. And all these people do.
CGI.
So either there's some shit going on, or I think he's a, what do you call those, holograms, like they did with Tupac and shit?
Goddamn right.
Down in the bunker. Check this shit out. Sorry to curse, but check it out. No shadow. Shadow.
Dude, there was no shadow. Hey, go do it again. Show it again. Here we go.
No shadow. Shadow. And doesn't he also look like there's some kind of weird phasing going on? I'll try to pause it.
Oh, he's CGI. I knew it.
Look at that. Is he missing part of his face?
Now do that with the next guy.
He's phasing. See that? Look at the bush.
Phased into the bush. He phased. Look,
in the next guy, it gets darker.
Whoa.
Where's the shadow?
Dude, he became transparent.
I think he's not here. I think it's
It's a fucking fake. It's a CGI. I knew it was a fake. I always keep saying there's CGI fake people up there.
Unless this is somebody's joke that they've really messed with this video. But I got this off Twitter like the day it happened. But look at that. What the hell's going on in here?
Wow.
And in here, where's his head?
It's gone.
Whoa.
Hey, Michael Healy's in the house.
You know what it reminds me?
How you
It
doing?
reminds me of the Phantom Planes. You know the Phantom Planes that are see-through with one wing and you can see right through them? They're fake. It's like that.
Well,
Hey,
I'm back,
Viz,
guys.
did you see this video, Viz? Did you see this at all?
Check this out.
What?
Look at Donald Trump. He has no shadow. But look at the guy behind him.
He's
He'll have a shadow.
transparent. He's transparent.
Wow.
So watch.
Yeah.
Look at the second guy. A shadow.
What's the sort of that video? That's crazy.
And then watch this gigantic, monstrous dude come in the screen right here.
Look
How
at
tall is
this.
that guy? This guy's over 6 feet. How tall is this son of a butt?
Either Slender Man or a Secret Service agent.
But he's being surrounded by Nephilim. This
Oh,
isn't the only one. There's one. There's a picture. I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can find this other photo.
you see that guy?
Isn't that
That
something?
actually reminded me of Slender Man. That was crazy.
And there's another. I'll try to find the other photo here, because there's lots of these big dudes now around Trump. There was one at a plane. It's on there. I'll find it.
I don't think he's human, man. No.
But what do you guys think? Do you think he's not real now? You think that's a hologram, like they do in that gymnasium when they made the whales appear, the dragons fly over that one stage?
Yeah,
It's the same
hologram.
kind of technology, right?
Well,
Okay.
Trump is not a thin man, so he should definitely be casting a shadow.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Now either somebody put out a total hoax or whatever.
It could be a hoax video. I mean, we've seen a lot of weird shit, but man,
No,
I-
I had a weird theory because
Trump
he
is like
he would
6'3"
stand
or
there-
6'4".
he would stand at the podium and he would give his speeches, and sometimes it would have the presidential seal circle on the podium, and sometimes it did not. And I was like, why is he every once in a while there's no presidential seal on his podium, and sometimes there is. I was thinking maybe the times that he wasn't when he was a CGI guy, they didn't have the seal on, but when he was real, they had the seal on. I don't know.
I have no idea.
It was weird. That's a weird picture, man. That's weird.
That looked like some sort of crazy alien creature.
Yeah, what they call tall whites? The tall whites now. What is that? Yeah, the
Let me ask you guys a question before we end this. This whole the current state of the world and what's making news in America right now. How do you guys think it's going to affect the presidential election in November?
I think it's already rigged.
Yeah,
it's already laid out.
I mean, I hate to say this and sound like that guy because I was always a guy who made sure I voted all the time, but it really doesn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do.
It's already rigged. They're already putting false things out. So
the system's not broken; it's fixed. It's just
broken.
It's fixed in their favor. The fix is in. That's what it is.
But who is it? Is it Biden or is it going to be Trump again?
It doesn't really matter. It's above them. If you, the way you can prove that there's somebody or some people bigger than the United States is the entire world at one time dropped to their knees and said, "Yes, we'll do what you want, government," because every country fell in. And in addition to that, for the first time in my lifetime, the freaking Native Americans listened to the government. Now they're sovereign. They shouldn't do that at all. So whoever this is, you want to talk about Godfather, screw the Godfather and the mob. These people took down the world economy.
No,
every country at once without firing a shot. All they said there's a boogeyman outside and everyone went and hid.
I'm going to show you guys who's going to be the next fucking president of the United States of America.
Gypsy.
I thought you were king of England, Robert. What are you doing there?
Vice president.
I'm a vice president, and I'm going to be the king of Wales.
That is approved by the Mandela Effect Party.
I love the Mandela Effect Party. That's awesome.
I like the red stripe underneath the blue box. That was how I remembered it right there. I remember the red stripe underneath the blue box.
And then we got the Monopoly Man.
Yeah, Mr.
He doesn't have a monocle anymore. Remember, he has no monocle anymore. No more monocle. He sees both eyes. He has both eyes now.
That's kick-ass.
I like that picture, Eric. Yes. I have that thing posted everywhere. We're going to win the presidency.
Bob, I guarantee we're going to have people not vote for me because they're too afraid. They're going to vote for somebody they don't even want.
I'd vote for you. I'm voting for you, dude. I already decided. I'm voting for you. So I can get in. I'd be vice president.
Where did he go? Oh, there he is.
I dropped out trying to find you content. Okay, here, I'll try to do this again.
What? This is not content right here? This is major content.
Okay, I'll try to do this again here. Let's see. Application window. Let's see. Okay, so here's one. Can you see that?
I'll get it right now.
Here we go. Ooh.
Okay, so that's actually on the presidential page or whatever. And what I'm going to show you is this guy right here. If I can get the right photo.
There's a video game, another video game called Far Cry New Dawn, and one of the scenes on one of the missions there, the plane engines are where I used to remember them as well, and everybody else used to remember them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are you serious? Did you really put your name in for
Yes. Now they won't put my name on the ballot because I had to have like 2 million signatures. But I filled out the paperwork. Bob and I sent it in the mail on air. I had the envelope, so technically I am in the system running for president.
Yeah,
so that is not a joke.
Where you got to do that on a federal level or at your state?
No, well, there was a website. It's a federal website you go into, and there's an application to file to run for president.
Yeah,
and then you send it to Sacramento. So I filled it out, filled out all the paperwork. I did it on air. Me, Bob did a show on it. Put it in the envelope and put it in the mailbox.
So he's officially running for president for reals.
But to have your name on the ballot, you got to have over like 2 million signatures.
Where do you send that in? Where do you send in the 2 million signatures that let's say you do get? I mean, where do people sign?
If you go to the federal website, it's all on there. The explanation of how to do it, it's all on there. I can't remember, but I can be president. Technically, I can be.
Technically, anybody can be president. You know, you got to be over 35, be born in the U.S. And,
I'm over 35. Trust me.
Look at the size of that guy. Now, that's a different dude.
Yeah.
He's surrounding himself by Nephilim in the days of Noah. I swear we're in the end times because there they are.
Going back to the whole airplane thing, that's a 747, and that's a huge-ass engine, okay? Let me tell you. And he's up, what? His head is a good 3/4 of the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tall – he's at least 6'7".
Good God.
Oh, he's way bigger than that.
At least 6'7", at least, yeah.
Look at the people in front of him taking his picture. They look like tiny little hobbits.
Yeah, that could be my theory.
You see where the engine is attached to the wing with that little thing that comes out that attaches the engine to the wing?
Yeah.
That's the pylon.
Yeah.
You know, if that thing falls off, well, yeah, you're in trouble.
And I know we've been discussing Mandela and Brian's back, but to me, the plane engine, because growing up as a kid, I was lucky enough to be able to travel, and we usually got seats near the wing, and you'd only see a little piece of the engine because most of it was like in the middle and sometimes towards the back. But now when I look at all planes, they've always been this weird thing like you're describing, and I know you're a mechanic. And what's interesting about this Mandela effect is some people like you might just always remember the engine there, but there's a lot of people in this room right now.
Yeah, well, you guys are talking about
that have it farther back.
Yeah, what you guys are talking about, I do not remember an engine being just squarely under the wing.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's really crazy?
That's cool, though.
Hey, Michael, good seeing you.
Yeah, you too, man. I remember them being just slightly forward of the wing, but at the same time, I've got a memory from 2014. It's like I remember the plane engine being out the front as they are now, if that makes sense. So I've got like dual memories.
That happens too.
Yeah, I have a dual memory on getting my wisdom teeth taken out. I had them all taken out in the military, 100%. I remember the pain and all the suffering I went through. And then when I got out of the service, Eric's wife reminded me, hey, you remember when you got your wisdom tooth removed at that dental office down in Marion? I go, no, I had them in the military. Wait a minute, I have a memory of that. I have two memories. Of one getting to take one tooth taken out in town here, and then my other memory is having them all taken out in the military before I went to my ship. You had to have all your wisdom teeth pulled before I had this one mission. I had them all pulled in case I don't make it to any hospital. But it's a dual memory. It's real. It's not.
Yeah, the personal ones are the weirdest. Like I've talked about this a few times on their show. I was looking through my old photos of New York from 30 years ago, and I found this photo of the moon. Why it's there, I don't know. But when I look at the back, that's my name, but I didn't write it. And it's mapped out all of the craters and including where Apollo 11 is supposed to be. Wow. And here's the weird thing. To this day, I don't know the names of the craters or where they are or where Apollo 11 is. But that's my writing, and I don't know where this photo came from. So I wrote it.
You just don't remember it.
To this day, the names of the craters other than Tycho, I didn't know Cornupalus or Marsurcium or Clavius. Or the fact that this one's 120 miles or Apollo 11 is right here.
Well, I can guarantee you one thing. If it was 30 years ago, you didn't find that on the internet.
No, I took this photo.
No, exactly. No, I'm talking about the names of the craters. It wasn't.
Right. I had to go and look them up in books. You're absolutely right.
You probably had an encyclopedia or something, but Google didn't exist back then. That's for sure.
Nope.
Yeah.
I still don't know those names, and then I was able to know it. It's very odd to me.
I know Viz has to go, but I just have one last question for Viz right before he goes.
Yeah.
Viz, how's my breast right there?
Say that again?
How's my breast right there?
I thought you said breasts.
Breast. How's my boobs in that picture?
I love it. Did you see me post this on my show?
Yes, then I sent you an updated version of it.
Yeah. You got me, and that's my brother all the way on the right-hand side. I think
Next
this
to
is
Bob.
kick-ass.
I was
You
so
have-
thrilled to be in that thumbnail. I sent it to like 6 family members.
But I gotta tell you guys, this is by far, we are the ugliest zombies. And let me tell you, I have seen some ugly ass zombies, but we are by far the ugliest zombies I have
and I
ever
think my
seen.
handsomeness still comes through. That's just me.
Mine's
I am
gotta
a
be
fake
the worst.
doctor, so you know.
Now there's Voynich right next to me. If people didn't recognize Voynich, there's Voynich.
Oh man, that is just kick
And
ass.
Brian Stabley and Karen B. I put the flat earth symbol on them so you can recognize them.
That's
And
it.
one of these zombies actually wearing a medical mask.
And you know what? I gotta say, you look pretty good with breasts.
Yeah.
You look like our dead gay.
There's a
older brother.
sentence you didn't think you'd say today.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
going back to Negan, you got to keep in mind if you are playing the role of Alpha, then you and Negan made love with each other. Looking like that.
Anyway,
Oh.
well, we did over 2 hour mark, so Viz has to go. I just want to say that Viz, it was awesome. It's nice to have a different person from a different community with a different perspective that might not see everything that we see, but you saw some things, and it makes it more real because you're not used to watching us. You haven't, you're not agreeing just because other people have already agreed.
Yes.
But I have one question for him first before you hang up on him.
Yeah.
And please, hell, give me the right answer. When you played chess, I don't know if you ever played chess. Do you remember who do you checkmate in chess?
The Queen.
Yes!
Whoa! Shit! He said the Queen!
Finally! Fuck yes.
He agreed with us!
Wow.
Yeah, the
Finally
Queen.
got one. I think you maybe like 3 on my list out of all the Mandela affected people.
We never heard anyone say that. That's fantastic.
He's
Oh,
got
we
another
love you
Queen.
now, man. We love you now.
I just want to say I am so damn glad I did this show. You guys are fucking awesome.
There we go.
You guys are fucking awesome. Gypsy, thank you so much for inviting me. I loved it. I can't believe 2 hours just flew by.
I had a pleasure, Biz. It was nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you.
I
You're
would
great.
love to engage talking to you again. But remember, I've got a bet with you. You're going to find me that line from those movies.
And I'm also going to find you Ed McMahon.
And McMahon.
Ed McMahon and the scene where he tells Neo that everything's a lie. You got to find him saying that. And then the last thing is please look into some Dr. Kaufman videos or something for sure.
I will.
Also, don't forget, in this timeline, dude, it's checkmate. You checkmate the king, not the queen. I remember the queen.
He remembers the queen. You remember the queen.
You guys also know, just one last tidbit. You know, in the Walking Dead universe, the word zombie does not exist.
Correct.
Yes. Yes. In the Walking Dead universe, that's why they go by all these different names. The word zombie in the Walking Dead alternate universe, it doesn't exist.
Okay. Wow.
So there's a little tidbit. Anyway, guys, you guys were awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope to be back soon sometime, okay?
Oh, yeah.
No problem. Well, everybody, we'll see you. I'm not doing a show tomorrow because my son's getting his wisdom teeth pulled. So me and Bob will make it up on a Saturday morning. So we'll do a show Saturday morning.
All right. You guys take care. It was nice meeting you. And it was a great conversation, Ceiling Fan, man.
It was fun talking to you.
All right.
Thank
Take care,
All
guys.
right,
Bye-bye.
we'll see everybody later. Have a good day.